So, why is this one of the main things that most men do not learn growing up? What is it? Emotional intelligence, EQ. Emotional intelligence is often referred to as the ability to identify, understand, and manage emotions. And it's one of the things that most men do not learn. So on today's video, we're going to talk about 3 tips on how to get started to being a man that learns emotional intelligence. If you're ready to learn, let's dive in. Number 1, so simple. Pay attention to your emotions. There's a lot of things that are happening to us internally within our minds on a day-to-day basis that we're not paying attention to. Start paying attention to, as a man, the things that get you upset, the things that make you feel down, the things that make you feel excited and happy. Pay attention to those emotions. I know for most of us as men, myself is included, one of the main emotions that I learned growing up was aggression and anger. Everything can't be processed through aggression and anger. So I'll have to learn how to pay attention to my emotions if I want to learn emotional intelligence as a man. Number 2, triggers. Identify your triggers. Every single one of us as men, we have different things that trigger us in life. That may come from our past trauma. It may come from our current experiences. It may come from our insecurities. It may come from our own fears. But we have to recognize what are the things that trigger us in our lives so that we can learn how to handle those things. And it could be very small things. I learned as a man that one of the things that triggers me even coming home was things that I've experienced growing up as a kid. Being the oldest kid, I was always responsible for having the house cleaned and making sure that everything was right before my parents came home. So as an adult, I didn't even realize that I still had triggers that were in my own life that were triggering me emotionally, coming home from work and expecting everything to be organized and in the right place, and everything needed to be clean and everything needed to be a certain way, not recognizing that these were triggers that were in my life that were causing me to respond in an emotional way that sometimes were unhealthy. Number 3, we got to rely on empathy. One of the greatest things that we can learn as men is how to be empathetic. I know a lot of us, we're taught, hey, man up, be tough, do all those different things. But the reality of it is that I have to learn how to empathize with other people and what they're going through if I want to be a man that leads with emotional intelligence. I learned this personally in my own life when it came to dealing with my kids. My kids are 8, 6 years old at the time. And so for them to be able to regulate their emotions and regulate how they're feeling or even communicate how they're feeling is going to take a lot of time. And so I had to learn how to empathize and say, hey, I remember what it was like being this age, or I remember what it's like being in this situation. And so I can have empathy for others, and it can cause me to respond emotionally in a different way rather than letting myself just kick into autopilot. This is just the tip of the iceberg as men on how to learn how to lead and live with emotional intelligence. If you're a man and you're out there and you feel stuck, frustrated, just trying to figure out how to live life with purpose, to live life with power, and to live life in your God-given position, I'm dropping a link down below where you can schedule a free 15-minute call, man. Let's get on the line. Let's identify some of those challenges and figure out how to get back on track. Until next time, this is Nick with the Life Recreated channel. Keep learning, keep healing, and keep growing, man.